Katy Perry is back on her BS. It's already not a good year for her, but she has now made it part of her brand to allegedly extort elderly, mentally disabled people out of their homes. Most recently, a disabled veteran who suffers from Huntington's disease. His name is Carl Westcott, and he is a multimillionaire founder of 1-800-Flowers. So I'll give you the backstory. Back in 2020, she purchased this man's $15 million mansion from him. And after the sale went through, days later, Carl Westcott had a change of heart and attempted to back out of the deal. He blamed his mental capacity, claiming that he was not in a right mind and under the influence of pain medication after undergoing a surgery when he made the decision to sell.
Does she just like troll hospitals looking for people on drugs?
How does this become a pattern for you? Like, I understand one time, but twice? I don't know.
This is crazy.
We have a 20 from Weary Traveler. According to Mousetrap News, as of March 27th, 2025, Disney World does take EBT.
I don't even know what for.
Amazing.
If there's no sugary snacks allowed anymore.
So this man, Carl Westcott, has since 2020 also taken a steep decline in his health, and now his children are speaking and litigating for him on his behalf. Now, that would have been a closed case because in December of 2023, a judge ruled that Katy Perry was the rightful owner of this $15 million home in Santa Barbara. They say Carl Westcott presented no persuasive evidence that he lacked capacity to enter into a real estate contract between June 10th, 2020 and June 18th, 2020, the days during which he negotiated and signed.
Wasn't the law that got put, like the Katy Perry law, supposed to give like a 30-day...
Well, it was a bill. It was a bill. I don't think it was signed. I don't think it was signed into law.
Nothing gets passed.
But it was
Nothing
named
that
after
actually
her.
helps people. Yeah. You'd think there would be some type of grace period.
Yeah. So you would have thought that this matter was closed and it was settled, and Katy Perry can let bygones be bygones. But in fact, she didn't have enough. She wanted to continue her legal battle with Carl Westcott after the home was officially hers. It belonged to her LLC that she shared with Orlando Bloom and still does. This is her ex-fiance, the father of her child, Daisy, after whom they named her LLC, which is kind of crazy. So she decided that after the home was officially her property, she was instead going to countersue Carl Westcott, claiming that he now owes her $3.25 million in damages for the time that she, not for her lawyer's fees, but for the time that she was unable to rent out the mansion during their legal fight from September 2020 to March 2024.
Oh, because she could have made money off renting it out.
And she also added an additional $2.2 million in repair damages, claiming that the home needed to be restored to the condition in which it was purchased.
Do you think that her lawyers were like, look, you're going to be paying us to file these motions. We'll do it. But there's an optics battle here. And suing a military veteran with Huntington's disease may not
a good look.
Be
not the best look.
Look, you won the lawsuit. You get to keep the house. Fine. He signed it. We could have a whole discussion about whether he was actually had the mental capacity to do so. Whatever. That is done and gone. Do you really need to like risk more reputational damage given the fact that everybody's already laughing at you because you look ridiculous on your tour? Like, do you really want to sue a military veteran with Huntington's disease? Now, I guess it doesn't matter because people hate rich people. So I already saw somebody in the chat say worth $15 million, all sympathy gone. So because the guy has money, suddenly it doesn't matter.
They're both rich.
They're both rich.
For the record, Katy Perry is much more wealthy than Carl Westcott. Yes. I don't think that's a reason why anyone is morally, bankrupt just because they're a multimillionaire.
No, but people are saying, "Oh, I don't care anymore because he was also wealthy."
Yeah, that's
if he was
stupid.
poor, they would suddenly
stupid.
care a lot, but they don't because it's not about the principle
Right.
of the matter. I just think that the whole thing is unbelievable. It's this weird mixture of it's not funny because the guy has Huntington's disease. That's horrible. But at the same time, this keeps happening.
Oh, but her
Nuns in the hospital.
her lack of self-awareness
Yes.
is very funny.
Yes, it is.
Actually. So
She's just a really bad person.
she's now set to go to court against Carl Westcott for this countersuit in August, and the judge has ruled that her ex-fiance Orlando Bloom is not required to testify, even though he's named as the manager on her LLC, even though he's a co-owner of this home, even though he was deeply involved in the litigation prior to their split this year. I think that she's just post-breakup, fully crashing out,
needs to
like let
exert
out her
power and control.
outrage on somebody.
In the chat, Donald Johnson says her next release, I sued a vet and I liked it.
We joked about her rolling into court with a JBL speaker, and she's like, "You change your mind like a girl changes clothes."
Yeah, you're hot and you're cold.
Yeah, so now New York Post has interviewed Carl Westcott's son, who is speaking on his behalf because he is so degenerated from Huntington's disease. He's literally bedridden. He needs his son to advocate on his behalf. So here is some choice words from his son, Chart Westcott. He said that it was an injustice that Orlando Bloom would not have to take the stand, saying that Orlando Bloom was in charge of repairs for the home, and in addition to that, he's on the LLC that owns the house. He should have to testify. It isn't about trying to drag him into it. He's already in it. This is ridiculous.
It's funny to me to think of like famous actor Orlando Bloom walking around and doing the home repairs himself though.
Right. He said that his understanding of the ruling is that the door is not closed, and the Westcott's family representatives shared that their lawyers plan to fight with a potential new motion regarding Orlando Bloom's testimony.
Do you think this is like the kids? I've seen multiple people in the chat say the kids are trying to angle for a better deal. Do you think this is driven by the kids?
I don't think that they have anything to worry about in the money department as the children of the founder of 1-800-Flowers. I think that they have a good reason to fight back against Katy Perry in this set of circumstances.
I could have used him over the weekend. I had to bring flowers to the bridal shower. I could have called 1-800-Flowers and had them delivered.
Regarding the ruling to allow Orlando Bloom to stay out of this mess, he said, "I wasn't surprised, and I understand the judge's desire to avoid media circus. But the reality is everything these two people do is in the media, and just because they have media attention doesn't excuse them from the obligations that the court can put them under, and it shouldn't. That's a two-tier celebrity privilege standard, and that's not okay." So he went even further in his comments in this interview about Katy Perry and her lack of moral character. He said, "They won't go down without a fight. Katy could have walked away at any time with grace and humanity. Instead, she has chosen to fight a dying man in court, all for money. That's who we're dealing with here. He is bedridden. He has late-stage dementia and Huntington's. His ability to speak ebbs and flows. Some days are better than others. He's stable, but it's declined. We have thought he could die any day for several years now because of how much he is just withering away. There's no argument to justify what's happening from a moral perspective. This is the exploitation of a man whose mind and body are basically shutting down, and he's being dragged into court. He's literally bedridden and can barely speak. That's been the status for over a year. He's spending his days in a hospital bed, and Katy Perry is spending her days trying to get his money." Here's what makes me so mad, though. Her public image, she tries to couch it as empathy and compassion and all these bullshit words that are not who she is. Her fake compassion, her fake empathy, it's all bullshit. She's a greedy bitch. That is a quote.
I feel like his lawyer should have stopped him from saying this.
I was like, damn, like you really just said that out loud. Like this could be used against you. He said his ideal outcome would be for the judge to tell Katy Perry she gets no damages, to pound sand, and she never should have done this in the first place. I just can't believe she hasn't even apologized. She hasn't even said, sorry, we're putting you through this. It's disgusting. Avoiding accountability for her immoral choices is basically a hallmark for her. She's essentially a giant spoiled brat, to boil it down. She's never had to grow up, so she doesn't realize. I'm not excusing her, but I don't think she fully understands the moral consequences of her actions. She is not fully developed from a moral perspective. And the greedy bitch line really is
I just
the cherry
feels
on
like
top.
it seems like a risk when he's going to have to go to court and this stuff's going to get brought up.
And one thing that he clarified to the people who think he's in it for the money is that a significant portion of Carl Westcott's estate is actually marked to go to charity. And instead, that money is going to end up in Katy Perry's pocket. Literally, money that could have been donated to the charities that Carl Westcott chose in his will instead be spent paying out to Katy Perry if she wins this countersuit. So he's saying, like, I'm not even in this for money that would go to my inheritance. Yeah. Not all of it is supposed to go to the kids. Yeah. So he seems to be standing on business from what I can tell. And there were a few people defending Katy Perry over this, which I did not expect, saying, like, you know, a deal's a deal. I don't know.
I mean, did those people know about the guy's diminished capacity?
They did not name his disease in the headline, so maybe they could.
That's my
plead
guess.
Ignorance.
My guess is they're like, look, well, you know,
Just 'cause he's
pragmatically,
old,
he signed the contract, so a deal's a deal.
Right.
And that I saw those posts as well, but I'm guessing those people may not have seen the stuff about heavily on, you know, medication and deteriorating from Huntington's disease.
And at the time of the sale, recovering from a major surgery.
Imagine being her lawyer and being like, again?
Right?
Like, I just got you out of the lawsuit with the nuns.
Busy. This kind of coverage is obnoxious. The guy, veteran or not, sold Katy Perry his house, then changed his mind and tried to undo it. That's not how contracts work. Expecting someone to honor a deal isn't about being a giant spoiled brat. It's called being normal. Give me a break. Another person said, Katy Perry has all the right to sue. I'm sorry, but being old and battling with disease doesn't make you right. Okay. It doesn't mean that what she did is illegal, but it definitely makes it morally questionable.
At the very least, it calls her, you know, like, who she is into question.
Right. Yeah. And she has gained a reputation for this. The most infamous case is when she was involved in a legal battle with a bunch of nuns when she...
and Mary took exception to that.
Yeah. She had a legal dispute over the sale of a convent in Los Angeles. One of the nuns that was in this battle with Katy Perry back in 2018 literally collapsed and died in court during a post-judgment hearing on the case. Her name was Sister Catherine Rose Holtzman, age 89, and this was literally her last words were admonishing Katy Perry for extorting nuns out of their property.
You know what, Mary? Katy didn't make her 89, so it's fine. It's not her fault.
Yeah. And other Katy Perry news related to the Blue Origin space launch.
That's the real thing here. An astronaut did this to a flower salesman.
How dare she?
How dare she?
I was just delighted to learn that Mariah Carey had no idea that Katy Perry went to space.
Mariah Carey's kind of my...
she was like, you're telling me this for the first time.
Mariah Carey's kind of my spirit animal in a lot of ways. She might be the last real diva.
I love the sunglasses inside energy.
Going to space. You know, like Katy Perry did.
Did she go to space?
Not for long. I think it was...
Where'd she go?
Where did she go? No one knows. Pardon? Huh?
Into orbit and back?
Katy Perry went in
The Xanax is just hitting right there.
to orbit.
You know, Mariah Carey's on
She's
another
like floating,
planet.
being in the...
Yeah.
And this is true.
This. I've not made this up. This is true.
Wow.
I know.
All right, Katie.
She was proper in space.
I'm not mad at her. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, she hasn't stopped talking about it since, but it happened.
That was a low blow.
Would you do it?
I think I've done enough.
She's like, nah.
She's on the same page with you.
She's like, did you see my Madison Square Garden concert in 1995? I'm the last reason America was actually truly united.
Mariah Carey is mentally in orbit in that interview.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.